All right, we're good. I'll let you let the people in, Scott.
You just view lobby, huh? Waiting in lobby.
I'll take care of it. Good morning, everyone. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you all for joining us this morning for the pre-proposal conference for the RFP for Mesalands Community College's feasibility study. I'll go ahead and do some quick introductions on my end and then turn it over to my colleague, Mr. Scott Eccles. My name is Gerald Honey. I am the Acting Deputy Cabinet Secretary for the Higher Education Department. And I'll be joining this call for just to oversee and also answer any questions if necessary. But this will be ran specifically by my colleague, Mr. Scott Eccles, and I'll turn it over to him.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Scott Eccles. I'm the External Audit Manager here at the Higher Education Department. So I'm in charge of the RFP from our division standpoint, from the finance division standpoint. Just going to go ahead and open up the pre-proposal conference for any questions at this time.
Do you guys have any idea about the anticipated budget or timeline? Either one.
The appropriation total is for $250,000, and that money was appropriated at the last legislative session in early 2023.
Thank you.
Scott, I was wondering if you could give a bit of history and background on Mesalands and, its status as an independent community college and what's led to this RFP.
I could kind of give you a base history related to the fiscal status of the college, which is my direct responsibility, and what information I've been told. So the college has sustained some fiscal solvency issues that we were notified in November of 2022 of some cash flow shortages at the college by the college's president. And as a result, we went to the legislative session and were able to obtain additional funds to keep the college solvent, and have worked with the college and the college's leadership closely since that time, and to the point where we're having to monitor their financials on a weekly basis to ensure that payrolls are met and the doors stay open.
I'm going to go ahead and pause on that briefly, Scott, if I may. I think I want to answer the question a little bit more specifically. And so Mesalands Community College has been an independent community college for quite some time. They serve the Tucumcari and surrounding areas. And as my colleague noted, this particular study was requested by the New Mexico legislature. Funding was appropriated in 2023 in order to assess Mesalands Community College because of some fiscal issues that had come up as my colleague mentioned, in late 2022. And so that's the purpose of the study. Again, Mesalands has been an independent community college and still is to this day. And they continue to serve students and offer the programs that they currently have in their catalog. So this study is again primarily to assess, based on the scope of work, the future of the college. Thank you. I know we did receive some other questions prior to today's pre-conference and pre-proposal conference. And so just so everybody's aware, we will be addressing all of those questions formally, providing responses to those questions on our website. So that way everybody has those formal responses. And then, of course, any questions that we're receiving during today's pre-proposal conference, we'll provide informal responses, but those formal responses to those questions will also be posted to our website. So that way all individuals have access to those questions for reference. And so with that, I'll go ahead and open it up to see if there's any additional questions that anybody may have.
Gerald or Scott, do you anticipate needing the consultant, whoever you all select, needing to get into student files or protected files at the institution? Is that within your all's thought process on this?
Thank you for the question. Truly appreciate it. And I will defer to my colleague. You know, I'll provide a response, and then I'll also defer to my colleague if he has additional comments to make. We do not anticipate a need to get into the student files or any other protected documentation that is covered under FERPA. What we do anticipate is if there are any requests as the chosen vendor is looking at documentation, we would coordinate with them should there be a need to specifically open up any of those types of files. But at this time, we don't anticipate that.
Yeah, I agree with that. This is Scott. I was just looking at the scope, and so it's broad. You know, it does look at enrollment detail, 5-year projections, faculty and staff headcounts, and such. But in no way will it require any, any details such as confidential student information. And again, FERPA is our guiding law there for confidentiality.
Thank you.
Harold, do you want me to go ahead and answer the questions that were sent in for the previously? Is that okay?
Thank you,
Go over
Scott.
that? Okay. I'm going to go over the 3 questions that were sent in previous to the pre-proposal conference. The first question was, who will be the main contact for this project from the college? And the answer would be the president is Dr. Alan Moss, would be the primary contact. The second question would be, is there an incumbent firm the college is working on these priorities? And just off the top of my head thinking, I think maybe I should mention that an economic study has recently been drafted. I'm not sure if the report is final, but I believe that the company or the consultant, excuse me, that performed that is called Lightcast, is what I believe. So there's not an incumbent firm, so to speak, doing the feasibility study, but again, there's a separate economic piece to this. And a consultant, I'm not sure if that's completed yet, but it was near completion in draft form. And then the third question, budgets for these types of projects can range drastically, and preparing a response that does not fit the college needs precisely is a tedious task. What is the college's intended budget for this project? And again, the appropriation was for $250,000, and that was, I believe, a state general fund appropriation. And so the monies would not be coming from the college per se, but they would be legislatively appropriated. And so
And just
that
to
would be.
add, and Mr. Eccles, if I may, just to add some clarification. So that particular funding is an up to amount. And so it's important that that be noted, that it is up to $250,000, and it is one-time non-recurring. So that is the amount that we have right now to work with. Thank you, Mr. Eccles.
Okay. Any other questions for the pre-proposal conference? Please go right ahead.
Yeah, I have a quick question that's in response to the information you just presented. So there's a current economic study being completed or in that process. Was that on for the higher education department or was it for the university? And when will it be available and is it public information?
Thank you for the question, Mark. The study itself that was performed was actually a collaboration from the New Mexico Independent Community Colleges, and it was a collaboration study on community colleges that was performed by Lightcast, and Mesalands Community College was part of that assessment. So it is not an assessment specifically for Mesalands, but an assessment for the community colleges as a whole that was actually completed on behalf of the New Mexico Independent Community Colleges. As my colleague mentioned, that particular study is a study that we will provide once it's readily available. It will be public record, and we will provide, of course, to the chosen vendor as well as additional documentation for them to have in use. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Hi, I have a quick question just about submission of the proposal. Is that done through your guys' site or would that be through BidNet? I was looking through the proposal, like the RFP, and was just a little bit confused on that point.
For that question, I'm going to defer to our procurement manager who has joined us. Cecilia, do you have a response for that?
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Cecilia Roybal. I'm the procurement manager for this RFP, and I'm trying to look on where it
Page
says,
9.
but
Page 9.
8 and 9. Okay, but basically it's going to be electronically submitted to my email.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I hope we put that specific in there, but But
do see
my
your email
information,
here.
yeah, my information is there. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Yes, that if you look on page 9 on the RFP, proposals no later than December 15th, and all the information is listed clearly there that should help.
Thank you.
I have another follow-up question on the Lightcast question that came just a few minutes ago. So first, it's multi-parts. So first, is the study that's being completed going to show any independent results for Mesalands, or is it just for the community college system overall? And number two, do you know when that study, the final results will be ready and public? And number three, since economic impact is a component of the scope of work, do you anticipate additional impact elements needing to be calculated, or is it really just about drawing from the other study and applying it to this scope?
Thank you for the questions. I appreciate it. I'll answer each one individually. Is the study going to show any specifics related to Mesalands Community College? The answer to that would be yes. It will include details specific to Mesalands. The second question that you asked, I think, was whether or not when that information would be available. We do understand that there is a draft of that study that is now being reviewed. We do not have specific dates as to when the final report will be issued. And so we don't have that information available at this point. And then the third question you asked was related to is there going to be a need to draw information from that particular study or take information from that study in order to drive decisions or determinations on this particular RFP? The answer is yes and no. We want to be able to provide that information to the chosen vendor to be able to utilize that information as part of the assessment that is being called out for in the scope of work. Whether or not it drives any type of recommendations as being requested within our RFP, that is to be determined by the chosen vendor who performs the study. But we wanted to make sure that we were transparent in that assessment was already being done. But it's not at the same level nor the same type of detail that we're requesting in this particular RFP, but it is information that can be shared, and we want to make sure to share that as part of this work.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Hi, do you guys have a timeline for how long you want to spend on this work?
So our hope is that we are able to provide some preliminary information during the upcoming legislative session. And I do say preliminary information. We do not want to rush this study. This is an extremely important assessment. And so we want to make sure to give it the time frame and timelines that are necessary. And we will take that guidance from the chosen vendor as it relates to the timing. But we would like to have some preliminary information available during the upcoming session. And so, again, it is fluid. We will take the guidance from the chosen vendor for timeline, depth of scope, or depth of work. Because that's what's most important to us at this time, is making sure that we have a good analysis done. And so we don't want to shorten that or squeeze that in. We want to give that vendor the opportunity to give us that timeline. Are there any other
I've got-
questions or any other comments?
Yeah, Brian from Points Consulting here again. Question about contact information. So another one of the scope of work elements is determining from the community what their preferences are on the structure and status of the college, and that listed current students, past students, community members. Do you all know if the college maintains any kind of alumni contact database?
I really don't off the top of my head. It's a very rural school. So, and they've had some turnover. So I'm not sure that would be something that would be available.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll elaborate a little bit more on that. We do know that the college is tied very closely to local community organizations. The college president sits on several boards within the community, and as my colleague mentioned earlier, it is a very small community, and so I would venture to say that canvassing of the local community and contacts would be readily available by the college as well as the local governing board. We do know that that again, being that it is a very small community, there is a lot of tie-in between the college and the community. And we would also collaborate on that effort to gather some information if need be. Any other questions? And of course, there is going to still be opportunity if other questions do come up for submission to our procurement manager. You can, you will still have an opportunity to submit written questions. Let me pull up the deadline. I don't have it off the top of my head.
By
But-
the 30th.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, the deadline to submit written questions is November 30th, and we will respond to your questions by December 4th.
Thank you, Cecilia.
You're welcome. And
so-
whoever submitted, sorry, Gerald, but whoever submitted the acknowledgement of receipt will receive those questions and answers directly to the email that you provided. And the others will be submitted on our website.
Thank you, Cecilia. Any other questions? Well, we really appreciate you all taking the time to join us today. Again, this is an extremely important RFP for us, and we're looking forward to receiving proposals and moving forward with with this assessment, with this feasibility study. And so, again, if there are any questions, please feel free to send those to us, and we will be posting this the video of this pre-proposal conference on our website, as well as the questions that were asked and our formal responses as well. So everything will be available on our website. If there's no other questions at this time, I'll go ahead and close the pre-proposal conference.
Thank you, Gerald and Scott and Cecilia. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Abigail. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you all.
You all have a good one. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.